Hi, my name is Jon Kelsen. In Parashat Shemot, we encounter Moshe in chapter 2 of the book of Exodus in Midian. He has fled from Egypt, escaping from the sword of Paro, and crossed the desert and come to Midian. And there, as we know, he eventually meets his future family, his father-in-law, his wife, settles down there, remains there. He has a son named Gershom, and he names him Gershom because he says, Ger Hayiti be'eretz nachriya. I have been a ger, Gershom, I have been a ger in a foreign land, a stranger in a foreign land. Whether or not Moshe is here referring to the foreign land being Egypt, and now he is home in Midian, or perhaps that Midian itself is this foreign land in which he is currently a stranger, either way, I would argue that the narrative function or import of all of these stories of Moshe having to flee from Cherev Paro and to be saved from that sort of Paro and go past the desert and to go into a foreign land, the import of all that, in terms of our understanding Moshe, is that in order for Moshe to become a leader and to return to Egypt and redeem the people, he himself has to experience Gerut. The people in Egypt, the Jewish people, are experiencing themselves as Gerim, as strangers in a land which is not their own. That's part of what it means to be a stranger or a slave in Egypt. In addition to the Abdut and Inoi, in addition to the afflictions and servitude, there are also strangers. And in order for Moshe to effectively come back and save them, he has to have the ability to empathize with them. He has to have the ability himself, this prince of Egypt, has to have had the ability himself to have experienced a sense of strangeness, of being a stranger in a space not his own. It's only the leader who actually has gone through in some, even microcosmic version, but nonetheless some version of the experience of the people he's trying to lead and actually redeem. Only such a leader will have the ability to do so, the ability to be with the people. Imo anochi b'tzara. God too goes into exile with the people, because only when the Redeemer is actually with the people can the Redeemer actually connect with them and redeem them. This also might explain a bit about the incident at the Malon in chapter 4 of Exodus. On the way back to Egypt, Moshe and his wife and family come to this inn, and there's a very mysterious incident where they encounter God by Vakesh Hamito, and he desires to kill him. And Sipporah, his wife, circumcises their son, and he is saved. It's a very opaque, mysterious incident. When trying to figure out what this story is doing here, I would note that there's a lot of parallels between what's happening here at this Malon and the Makkah, the final plague of the killing the firstborn in Egypt. There too, we have the experience of some sort of demonic force coming to harm someone. And actually, according to the Midrash, or one of the opinions of the Midrash, Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, at the inn, the demonic force is trying to kill not Moshe, but actually trying to harm his son. So in both cases, we have some sort of demonic force, therefore trying to, kill the firstborn or kill a son. And the response to that force is to take blood. In the case of the Malon, the blood of circumcision. In the case of the Makat Bechorot, the blood of the Paschal sacrifice, although the Midrash there as well notes that, or comments, there's a Mechilta which comments that the blood on the doorpost was a mixture of Dam Pesach and Dam Milah, a mixture of the blood of the sacrifice, but also blood of the circumcision. And I think among many other things that Midrash is saying, it's referencing back, noting our parallel, referencing back to chapter 4, and noting that in both cases, therefore, there's taking of the blood of circumcision and putting it on a surface, whether it be the person himself in chapter 4 or the doorpost later on, and that serves to protect that body from this metaphysical, demonic, dangerous force. what are we to make of that parallel? What's that about? So I would argue again that this is Moshe on his way back to Egypt to redeem the people, goes through his own process, not only of being a ger, but also his own process of being threatened, of having some sort of existential threat to his own life or to his child's life, which in a sense, boil down to the same thing, and only to be ultimately saved from that danger. These are both, of course, reminiscent of the Akedah, where one's child is saved at the last minute from almost losing, from almost being killed. And this is again Moshe having to go through an experience which the Jewish people will experience later on, in order for him to be able to relate to them, to empathize with them. Only the leader has to go down to where the people are, not only literally, spatially, physically, but also existentially. He has to have a similar moment in his or her biography in order to empathize, to be with the people, and that's what allows Moshe to redeem the people. Shabbat Shalom.